to another video. Today we'll discuss the topic science fiction. So, what is science fiction? Science fiction is a genre of fiction that deals with the impact of science upon society or individuals. And remember, the scientific things discussed here might be imagined or actual, and it often tells us about science and technology of the future. And also note that science fiction has relationship with the principles of science as we have discussed just now. And for science fiction, the genre is often abbreviated as sci-fi, that is SCI-FI. And science fiction travels or cruises into the realms of future and interstellar travel, altered states of consciousness, extraterrestrial visitors like aliens, artificial intelligence are the staple of science fiction, and it is often called literature of ideas. And talking about the plot of the science fiction, it creates a situation which is unfamiliar to us. That is a situation which is different from the present day and different from our known past. And even though it creates an unfamiliar situation, there will be a human element explaining all the things happening around the human and about the impact and effect and the future of this scientific and technological development. So there will be a human element in most of the stories, and they are set in the future, in space, or in some other world, or some other universe or dimension. So now about the classic elements of a science fiction novel. The first one that will come to our mind is time traveling. So to quote an example, H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. And The Time Machine is a classic novel by H.G. Wells that invented or introduced the term or the phrase time travel. And another one common element, classic element, is teleportation. That is the fastest imaginary transportation or transfer of one matter or person or object from one place to another quickly. So basically, you can say that disappearing from one place and appearing in the other one. So that is teleportation, and then mind control, telepathy. So telepathy is basically the ability to transfer or to connect to ideas in other person's mind without basically communicating without using any non-sensory organs. Another classical element that we can find in a science fiction is telekinesis. That is the ability to make a motion in an object without any physical contact. You might have read or seen in movies, a person looking at an object and making it move, or a person moving his hand with his bare hands, making something lifting something or making a spoon bend with bare hands. That is telekinesis. And then aliens, extraterrestrial life forms, and mutants are also classic elements of science fiction. And then space travel and exploration are staple contents or elements of science fiction. And now interplanetary warfare, that is war between galaxies or between different planets, and parallel universes, fictional worlds, alternative histories, then speculative technology, that is fictional technologies that doesn't exist in reality. Then super intelligent computers and robots, they are all classic elements of science fiction. So now let's talk about the works. And Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which was published in 1818, is considered to be one of the earliest science fiction novels. You could call it a pioneer to science fiction. And this one tells the story of a man-made monster who acts like God with superpower, and that led to the disaster, which is a tragedy of science gone too far. And then H.G. Wells is often credited as the father of science fiction, and as he was a trained scientist and he was also an accomplished novelist. And Wells wrote The Time Machine that I've mentioned earlier, and it was published in the year 1895, and it depicted time travel. And The War of Worlds was published in 1898 and it was a prototype of alien invasion fiction. And then another one is The First Man on the Moon, which was published in 1991. All these three are works of Wells. And with the emergence of writers like Aldous Huxley and C.S. Lewis, this form, the science fiction, was accepted as a major genre in literature. And some of the well known 20th century science fiction texts include 1984 by George Orwell, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, and The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. And the four most popular and well recognized 20th century authors are Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, Ray Bradbury, and Robert Heinlein. And as your assignment, write down the latest science fiction works.